The Mexican medical system saved my partner's life 2 years ago. His heart was stopping. And I just noticed over several months that he was acting tired and he's taking more naps and he was having a hard time coming up the stairs. And I was like, you're not yourself and what's going on? And finally, I got into the doctor. He was, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Like, finally went to the doctor and he had some, and the woman wanted to send him to a neurosurgeon. She thought it was maybe something mental. And fortunately, actually, there's a woman who is a nurse who is Mexican and Canadian. She split her time, and he had been in contact. His blood work came back, and she looked at it. She said, "No, you need to go see the cardiologist. Give me 5 minutes." And so she messaged the cardiologist and got him an appointment for the same day. And so we went over there, and the cardiologist gives him the EKG when you lie down? Anyway, do his sensors. He says, "Oh, I know exactly what's wrong with you." And he helped him up very gently because I went with him to the appointment. And he sits there. The guy opens his drawer. He pulls out a pacemaker. He says, "This is a pacemaker. Do you know what a pacemaker is? Do you know what it does?" And then he pulls out a piece of paper. He drew the whole pacemaker and how it works with the heart. He explained how the whole process is. And he was very detailed. And he's like, you need a pacemaker and you need it right now. I mean, but he was trying to be not panic, how a doctor is, but you could tell the guy was concerned. And so I was like, okay. And then we're like, all right, well, how do we do this? He says, well, and we went to see someone who was here in Playa. He says, well, I work out of Cancun, and he works out of a private hospital. You mentioned earlier the private versus public. So he has a private hospital called Galena in Cancun. He works out of with his team. And he was ready to schedule the surgery right away. So we went on Friday for the surgery. Now you have to pay right then. We had to give him a credit card or deposit, and then you pay the surgeon and his team separately from the hospital. So they're like two separate fees. Like they run it through their own. I mean, I guess he's like a contractor basically. So, but we had excellent service. We were the nicest hospital. We were overnight there. They even sent in an interpreter. I mean, like a translator guy, even though we didn't need it, like, because the person met at the front desk spoke to him, spoke to him and says, "Oh, can you sit down? I have printed out the papers for you in English and Spanish. Which do you prefer?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll help you." And the Rick didn't even have his reading glasses on, so he couldn't read. He's just like, the guy's like, "I'll help you." And his English was perfect. We get into the room, they get us settled, and then they send in a guy. He says, "I'm," whatever his name was, "here's my WhatsApp number. If you need anything, I'm right down the hall." And his whole purpose in life there was to be a translator. And I just thought, that is amazing.
So it's kind of part of the team.
And we went in like 9:00 in the morning. I think he was in surgery by 11. He was out by like 2, maybe less. His surgery was only a couple of hours. And yeah, we were out the next morning. They kept him overnight.
But after surgery, kind of some maintenance, I don't know, checkup, like you were going back to doctors in Playa?
So he went back to that doctor like a week later for the checkup. He goes back for, like, I think in Christmas he was there, which would have been so yeah, every 6 months or so, he goes back to that doctor. And then we have a general practitioner here. And I mean, there's lots of great medical care here.
But he didn't have any heart condition before, like prior to it. So as far as I understand, you didn't have insurance, medical insurance plan up front. It was all kind of out of your pocket.
It's a big medical procedure. It's a pretty simple operation. And it's pretty magic that this little device like keeps your heart going, honestly. But yes, he had no heart problems, and it was just like slowing down. And so he was at 4 beats a minute, which is when he went to the emergency room, and a healthy person is like 60 beats a minute. So yeah, so pricing wise, it was roughly $9,000 cash US. And that included the overnight in the hospital, that included the surgeon and the team, and included, the device itself.